I am Christine Joy Carayday, and I'm going to report the Chapter 7, which is the Environmental Law. So, let's define first what is environmental law. So, environmental law, it is defined as a complex interlocking body of statistics, common law, treaties, conventions, regulations, and policies, and it operates to regulate the interaction of humanity and the rest of biophysical or natural environment for the purpose of reducing or minimizing the impacts of human activity both on natural environment for its own sake and on humanity itself. So, in other words, environmental law, i-create siya in order to prevent kanang mga mga bulwaton or mga human activities sa mga tao or human activity na makadaot sa ato ang environment. So, there are environmental laws nga gipang regulate. First is air quality, second water supply, third waste management, fourth contaminant cleanup, fifth is chemical safety, and sixth is the hunting and fishing. So, when we say air quality, ang law is nag-protect siya sa kanang air aga-protect ang law sa air para ma-prevent ang pollution like kanang sa mga para po maprotektahan ang ato ang ozone layer just like kanang sa mga kanang sa mga sakyanan. So ang environmental or ang naay laws na nag-regulate ana. Then second is water supply. Environmental laws may protect from pollution. So they may also determine who can use water and how to handle potential problems like treating wastewater and managing surface runoff. So of course, ang naapot ay balaod para sa mga water supply. So dili lang kay abi kay daghan tang supply sa tubig ato lang pasagdaan, we don't know nga naaday mas nagkinahanglan ato yung kita gaosik-usikra. So kinahanglan ato putong i-prevent or ato pong i-manage ang ato ang paggamit sa ato ang water. Third is waste management. Municipal waste, hazardous substances, and nuclear waste all fall in the category of waste management. So sa atong mga basura kinahanglan nga naatay kanang proper waste disposal, dili lang kay so Pilipinos kay ilan naman jud kayo no sa kasala itapon na to mga basura, but we should be kanang be protective sa atong environment kay kita naman po'y mahasol in terms kana yung mga disaster nga moabot. So mukos siya og flooding kay mabarat tong mga basura nga gipanglapyaran nato sa kasa. Next is contaminant cleanup. So, not environmental laws focuses on preventing pollution. So, dili tanang environmental laws nag-focus sa prevention sa pollution, but contaminant cleanup deals with addressing pollution after it happens. Laws may include protocols for cleanup as well as civil and criminal punishment for polluters. So, ang law, so nag-create po sila og kanang cleanup, like cleanup drive para malesen tong ato ang mga waste. Fifth is chemical safety. Chemical safety regulations manage things like pesticide use and chemicals in products like plastic bottles. So also, ang environmental laws nag-maintain po na sila or nag-watch na sila over sa mga for example mga farmers like nagamit mo na sila mga pesticides, mga chemicals in order nga ma-prevent ang mga mananap, mga insects nga mukaon sa ilahang mga tinanom. Last is hunting and fishing. So environmental laws may regulate and protect wildlife populations. So dili lang diri sa land ang environmental laws, but also naapod siya sa sea or sa ocean. Like karon kay di ba endanger naman kayo dire ang ato ang mga fishes kay tungod kay naiuban di ba magamit silang dynamite in order na makakuha silang isda, but it's not good. Next is history of environmental law. So throughout history, legal enactments have permanently protected the environment through common law, but private enforcement was limited. The Clean Air Act 1956 addressed major environmental threats, setting emissions limits and enforcing compliance through an inspectorate. Environmental law emerged in the 20th century, influenced by biosphere fragility, industrial activity, regulatory state, and environmentalism. Next, principles and functions of environmental law, principle of prevention, polluters principle, principle of cooperation. So the principle of prevention is the foundation of environment policy, aiming to prevent negative environmental impacts and achieve sustainable use. It includes protection and care of environment assets but should be confined to natural and legal persons. So ang principles of prevention mo na siya pinaka-importante sa palisiya sa environment nga nag-aim siya nga mapugan ang mga negative nga mga environmental impacts nga ginabuhat sa mga tao. Then second, the polluter pays principle allocates cost to prevent, remove, and compensate damage. Principle of cooperation emphasizes cooperation between the state and the citizens' environmental care. So kung nagmando ang state, kung walay cooperation ang citizens, unsaon pag function, unsaon nato pag-prevent. Then next is the principle of emissions and the principle of emissions. Environmental quality standards encompass both current and future standards for the environment. The principle of emissions, which refers to sending in human interventions, establishes limits on human intervention such as air quality control. The principle of emissions, on the other hand, arises from legal measures to reduce human impacts on the environment, such as determining emission for hazardous substances. So, ang principle of emissions kay like gikuan nila kanang sila mo gapa-arise sa mga legal measures sa atong environment para mapugngan ang mga hazardous substances. Next, threefold functions. Law plays a crucial role in caring for the environment, ensuring human survival, health, and dignity. It also provides social facilities for relaxation and enjoyment of nature, and and offers aesthetic benefits, allowing people to appreciate its diversity and beauty. So, ang threefold function na siya nag-play siya o crucial role para mo care sa atong environment, para makasurvive ta as human, at also ang ato ang health. Diba kay kung hugaw ang atong environment, kung kuan kanang ato ang environment is very wa kasabot how we can survive unsa na tong health. So yun ana ang threefold ang functions sa threefold. Next, principles influence environmental law. So there are 5: environmentalism, ecology, conservation, stewardship, responsibility, and sustainability. So pollution control. Pollution control is the limitation of eradication of the release of harmful substances into the environment. The removal of dangerous substances can be considered pollutant control as well. So pollution control, so as we all know, di ba, ma-observe na to karon na natay mga kanang e-bike, na natay mga sakyanan na nagamit na lang og electricity in order to prevent the pollution. Kay grabe kayo ang diri sa Pilipinas, grabe kayo ang ka-polluted. Next is waste management. Waste laws are generally designed to minimize or eliminate to uncontrolled dispersal of waste materials into the environment in a manner that may cause ecological or biological harm, and include laws designed to reduce the generation of waste and promote or mandate waste recycling. So, naatay gitawag og waste management, naatay biodegradable, non-biodegradable, toxic, and ma-recycle. So, kita as a kanang youth, as a young generation, we should know kung asa nato ang ilabay in a proper way ang ato ang mga basura. Dili kay ilabay-labay na nato bisag asa. We should know kung asa siya dapit na belong, kung toxic ba siya, kung ma-recycle ba siya, malata ba siya, or di ba siya malata. So, we should be responsible enough. Next is contaminant cleanup. So, ako naman yung gi-istorya ganina sa katong mga regulate sa environmental law. Contaminant cleanup, environmental cleanup laws govern the removal of pollution and contaminants from environmental media such as soil, sediment, surface water, or groundwater. Unlike pollution control laws, cleanup laws are designed to respond after the fact to environmental contamination and consequently must often define not only the necessary response actions, but also the parties who may be responsible for undertaking or paying for such actions. Diba natay, kadungog mo itong balita sa una nga, gipang-throw ang mga syringe sa dagat, na like, mga gikan siya gipang tusok sa mga naay mga sakit. So, ang mga personal nga in charge ana, so nasa like follow up jud ayon nga kanang buhaton nila in order to kanang ilang i-test kung inana kung ang chemical dira kuan ba present ba na nga in that area. Next is chemical safety. Chemical safety laws govern the use of chemical in human activities, particularly man-made chemical in modern industrial applications. Regulatory efforts include banning specific chemical constituents in consumer products. Example, bisphenol A in plastic bottles and regulating pesticides. So, sa akong giingon kanina, so, ang environmental law, of course, nag-prevent po sila sa mga kanang human activities na kanang sa chemical na dili mo kuan kanang mutaas ang percentage like sa mga chemical na ipanggamit sa mga tao para kuan ang mga pesticides. Next is resource sustainability. The terms sustainable and sustainability are used to describe many different approaches toward improving our way of life. Sustainability does not and should not have a rigid definition. Here are some views of what sustainability can encompass. So, sustainability means reducing our harm on the environment and ultimately reversing the harm we have already caused. So, here are some views of what sustainability can encompass. First, sustainability means renewing resources. Renewing means renew. Imong bag-ohon ang mga resources at a rate equal to or greater than the rate at which they are consumed. Then, second, sustainability means living within the resources of the planet without damaging the environment now or in the future. So, dapat kuan living within the resources of the planet. So, dapat ka nang magpuyo ta nga kung unsa ang mga resources inside sa ato ang planet without makadamage sa atong environment or sa ato sa in the future. Third, sustainability means creating an economic system that provides for equality of life while renewing the environment and its resources. So, dapat sustainable, dapat ang ato ang ecosystem is kanang makaprovide nato og quality of life kanang ato ang mga sa atong mga resources. Next, a sustainable humanity is one that resembles a living system where all of the resources you may mapayuman, natural and economic man siya, are renewed and in a balance for perpetuity. Next is sustainability is creating a world where everyone can have fulfilling lives and enjoy a rich level of well-being within the limits of what nature can provide. So, dapat ang world is, dapat kita magpuyo ta nga fulfilling ato ang heart na atong life, ma-enjoy nato kung unsa ang anaa sa atong nature, unsay ma-provide sa ato ang nature. Next, sustainability means taking the long-term view of how our actions affect future generations and making sure we don't deplete resources or cause pollution at rates faster than the earth is able to renew them. So, sustainability ka na, makasustain ba? Makasustain siya in a long term nga ang atong mga actions usay effect sa atuang sa future generations kun kuan kanang dili ba siya nga dili maka-deplete sa atuang mga resources or maka-cause sa pollution. Then next, sustainability means living a life of dignity in harmony with nature. So sustainability means magpuyo ta sa kinabuhi nga dignidad nga naay kahamugaway ba nga nagpuyo ta sa usa ka environment nga peaceful. So it ana then some of the many uses of the word sustainable include sustainable business, sustainable development, sustainable agriculture, sustainable living, and sustainable community. Next is mineral resources mining law. So we all know Philippines is rich in mineral resources. Mineral resource laws cover several basic topics including the ownership of the mineral resource and who can work them. Mining is also affected by various regulations regarding the health and safety of miners as well as the environmental impact of mining. So ang mining is dako siya impact sa tuang environment and also it can affect to the people nga or mga miners kay what kabalo sa situation nga mukalito na siya nagkuan sila kanang nagmining sila dira nya was kabalo nga mokalit earthquake. So it's important pod ang ilahang kanang situation ilahang um, ilahang health ilahang condition ilahang way nga nagmine sila dala. So it's not good nga pod nga palabihan ang ato ang mining. Sir, next is forest resources forestry law. So we also have mga sa forest na to. So forestry laws govern activities in designated forest lands, most commonly with respect to forest management and timber harvesting. Ancillary laws may regulate forest and land acquisition and prescribe burn practices. So, ang forest resources is very kanang ka rampant as sa tuwa diri sa Pilipinas kay dagan kayong mamutol og kahoy. Like instead nga mananamtag kahoy, ila noon nga putlon which is dako siya impact sa atuang environment in terms natin mga disaster, mga typhoon nga moabot wala ta kabalo. So ila lang gipamutol to murder to inang isel. So inana ang mga tao. Next is wildlife and plants. So wildlife laws governs the potential impact of human activity on wild animals, whether directly or individuals or populations, or indirectly via habitat degradation. So ako na po ning na-discuss ganina ang wildlife and plants nga many kanang hunters nga maglag-lag pa kanang mag-hunt sila which result nga daga na kayong kanang endangered species kay tungod sa kanang irresponsible nga mga hunters like dako unta sila tabang sa ato ang environment but ilang ginahan. Next is fish and game fisheries law. Fish and game laws regulate the right to pursue and take or kill certain kinds of fish and wild animal. Such laws may restrict the days to harvest fish or game, the number of animals caught per person, the species harvested, or the weapons or fishing gear used. So, kabalo naman ta nga ang dagan tayo mga fishery nga mag-use og mga bisag unsa nga mga explosive like dynamite in order nga makakuha sila dagan nga isda which is dako siya impact especially the coral reefs nga puloy-anan sa mga isda maguba ang ilaha nga puloy-anan. So saan pa man nila unsa pa man ang beauty sa ato ang ocean or sa ato ang kadagatan if kana padayon nato siya nga buhaton dili nato siya ma-prevent. Next is sustainable development defined by the United Nations Environment Program as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development may be considered together with the concepts of integration. Development cannot be considered in isolation from sustainability and interdependence, social and economic development, and environmental protection and interdependent. So, in 1992, the first UN Earth Summit resulted in the Rio Declaration, Principle 3 of which reads, "The right to development must be fulfilled so as to equitably meet developmental and environmental needs of present and future generations." So, dapat ang the right to development nga dapat ma-fulfill nato nga ang equitable, ang environmental needs dapat ma-fulfill para sa ato ang future generations. Next, equity or intergenerational equity, defined by the UNEP to include intergenerational equity, the right of future generations to enjoy a fair level of the common patrimony, and intragenerational equity. So, sa intergenerational equity, ang line nga naadala is the right of future generations to enjoy a fair level of the common patrimony. While sa intragenerational equity, the right of all people to fair access to the current generation's entitlement to the Earth's natural resources. Environmental equity considers the present generations under an obligation to account for long-term impacts of activities and to act to sustain the global environment and resource base for future generations. Next, we have a precautionary principle. One of the most commonly encountered and controversial principles of environmental law is the Rio Declaration formulated the precautionary principle as follows. First is in order to protect the environment, para maprotektahan ang atuang environment. The precautionary approach shall be widely applied by states according to their capabilities. Where there are threats or serious irreversible damage, lack of full scientific certainty shall not be used as a kanang reason for kanang postponing cost-effective measures to prevent environmental degradation. Next, we have prevention. From the word itself, prevention. So usaon man nato prevent? How can we prevent? So the concept of prevention can perhaps better be considered an overarching aim that gives rise to a multitude of legal mechanisms, include prior assessment of environmental harm, licensing or authorization to set out the conditions for operation and the consequence for violation of the conditions, as well as the adoption of strategies and policies. So, prevention, like example, ang atong is sa coastal area, usa atong mga pamaagi nga ma-prevent og naata sa dapin sa suba, how we can prevent mga flood, so we can mukwanta ka na mananumtag kahoy. Next is polluter pays principle. The polluter pays principle stands for the idea that the environmental cost of economic activities, including the cost of preventing potential harm, should be internalized rather than imposed upon society or at large. Next, we have treaties, convention, protocol, based convention on the control or of transboundary movements of hazardous waste and their disposal in the year 1992. So, the most comprehensive global environmental agreement on hazardous and other waste, which aims to protect human health and the environment against the adverse effects of hazardous waste. So, we had two, the generation and the management. Three. Second, transboundary movements. And last is disposal. So, Convention on Biological Diversity resulted from the recognition that damage to biodiversity can only be effectively dealt with in a comprehensive manner, not dealing with kanang mga specific species or habitats. There are three main kanang objectives. First is conservation of biodiversity. Second, sustainable use of its components. And last, fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising from generic resources. Now, let's go to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. So, an international agreement between governments which aims to ensure the international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Widespread information dissemination about the endangered status of many prominent species such as the tigers and elephants. So next we have Convention on Migratory Species of Wild Animals or Bonn Convention, which ang ilang aims is to conserve terrestrial, marine, and avian migratory species throughout their range, like global scale, which aims to conserve populations of European bats. So mo ni sa ilahang kanang ilahang aim ba ang ma-conserve ang population sa European bats, cetaceans of the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea and contiguous Atlantic area, small cetaceans of the Baltic, Northeast Atlantic, Irish and North Seas, seals of the Wadden Sea, African Russian migratory water birds, and albatrosses and petrels, gorillas, and their habitats. Now, let's move on to the Kyoto Protocol. So, Kyoto Protocol, it broke a new ground by defining three innovative flexibility mechanisms to lower the overall cost of achieving its emissions targets. So, the mechanism enabled parties to access cost-effective opportunities to reduce emissions carbon, to remove carbon from the atmosphere in other countries. Emissions trading, carbon market, clean development mechanism, joint implementation. Next, we have the UNFCCC, or the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. They consider what can be done to reduce global warming and to cope with whatever temperature increases are inevitable. Next, to keep the maximum temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius. The commitment to list developed country emissions reduction targets and mitigations action by development countries for 2020. And last, mechanisms to support technology transfer and forestry. So, next, this is part of the UNFCCC nga mga countries nga present sa ilahang mga mga problems in terms of environmental. Now, let's go to the first country. So, the first country is the Africa. According to the International Network for Environmental Compliance and Enforcement, or INECE, the major environmental issues in Africa is the drought of flooding, air pollution, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, freshwater availability, degradation of soiled vegetation, and widespread poverty. So, here are, or you can see in the screen, ang example sa major environmental issues in Africa. Next, we have Asia. The Asian Environmental Compliance and Enforcement Network, or ASEAN, is an agreement between 16 Asian countries dedicated to improving cooperation with environmental laws in Asia. These countries include Cambodia, China, Indonesia, India, Maldives, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Nepal, Philippines, Pakistan, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. Next, we have the European Union. The European Union issues secondary legislation in environmental issues that are valid throughout the EU, so-called regulations, and many directives that must be implemented into national legislation from the 28 member states. EU legislation is ruled sa Article 249 Treaty for the Functioning European Union or TFEU, topics for common EU legislation European of they are climate change, air pollution, water protection and management, waste management, soil protection, protection of nature, species and biodiversity, noise pollution, cooperation for the environment with third countries or other than EU member states, and civil protection. So makita ninyo sa screen kung unsa ang mga major environmental issues sa different countries. Next, we have their Middle East. So the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is working with countries in the Middle East to improve environmental governance, water pollution and water security, clean fuels and vehicles, public participation, and pollution prevention. So one of the problems sa Middle East ang ilahang water supply. So as you can see, a boy nga nagdala og a lot of gallons. So inaana ang problema sa Middle East. So ang Environmental Protection Agency nag-work with different countries para ma-improve ang ilahang environmental governments through water pollution and water security. The next is Oceania. The main concerns on environmental issues in the oceanic region are illegal releases of air and water pollutants, illegal logging, timber trade, illegal shipment of hazardous waste, including e-waste and ships slated for destruction, and insufficient institutional structure, lack of enforcement capacity. As you can see in the picture there, dagan kayong nagalat nga basura nga sari-sari lang. So, which is na mga hazardous waste, which usa sa mga environmental issues sa oceanic region. Next, we have the Australia. The Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act of 1999 is the centerpiece of environmental legislation in the Australian government. So, napunta daray mga kanang examples sa Australia. Then we have Brazil. The Brazilian government created the Ministry of Environment in 1992 in order to develop better strategies of protecting the environment, use kanang natural resources sustainability, and enforce public environmental policies. So, ang Brazil kay naghimo sila og Ministry of Environment para ma-develop nila ang mga strategiya nga makaprotect sa environment, sa mga natural resources, og ma-enforce, ma-aware ang public sa mga polisiya sa environment. Next, we have there Canada. The Department of the Environment Act establishes the Department of the Environment in Canadian government as well as position Minister of the Environment. So, as you can see kanang maor man og mga environmental issues ang different countries, but ang ilarang difference is ang pamalaod or pamalakad nila sa ilahang government. Next, we have China. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, China has been working with great determination in recent years to develop, implement, and enforce a solid environmental law framework. Chinese officials face critical challenges in effectively provincial governments and strengthening the operation of their legal system. So, sa una na ako nadunggan nga ang China is mao na siya pinaka handusanan gani og mga basura na siya dako siya area nga which mo pandak handusanan siya og mga basura. Next, we have their Ecuador. With the enactment of the 2008 Constitution, Ecuador became the first country in the world to codify the rights of nature. The Constitution, specifically Articles 10 and 71-74, recognizes the inalienable rights of ecosystem to exist and flourish, gives people the authority to petition on the behalf of ecosystems, and requires the government to remedy violations of these rights. So, also napod sa Ecuador, napod sila anang mining. Next, we have Egypt. The Environmental Protection Law outlines the responsibilities of the Egyptian government to preparation of legislation and decrees pertinent to environmental management, collection of data both nationally and internationally on the state of the environment, preparation of the periodical reports and studies on the state of the environment, formulation of the national plan and its projects, preparation of environmental profiles for new and urban areas, and setting of standards to be used in planning for their development, and preparation of an annual report on the state of the government to prepare to the president. So, sa Egyptian, the Environmental Protection Law outlines the responsibilities sa ang Egyptian government para to prepare sa mga legislations, mga environmental management collection of data sa mga data nila sa ilan nang gi-prepare to kanang for the preparation of an annual report on the state para sa environment nga prepare siya to kanang sa ilahang presidente. So next we have here India. In India, environmental law is governed by the Environment Protection Act of 1986. This act is enforced by the Central Pollution Control Board and the numerous state pollution control boards. Apart from this, there are also individual legislation specifically enacted for the protection of water, air, wildlife, etc., such as legislations include the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977, the Forest Conservation Act of 1980, the Air Prevention and Control and Pollution Act of 1981, Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Union Territories Rules 1983, the Biological Biodiversity Act of 2002, and the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, Batteries Management and Handling Rules of 2001, Recycled Plastics Manufacture and Usage Rules 1999, the National Green Tribunal established under the National Green Tribunal Act of 2010 has jurisdiction over all environmental cases dealing with substantial environmental questions and acts covered under the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974. Then last is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Rules 1978. Next, we have here Japan. The basic environmental law is the basic structure of Japan's environmental policies, replacing the basic law for environmental pollution control and the nature conservation law. The updated law aims to address global environmental problems, urban pollution by everyday life, loss of accessible natural environment in urban areas, and degrading environmental protection of capacity in forests and farmlands. So, ang Japan po kay nasulay ka ng palisiya nga prevent mga environmental issues. Next, we have here New Zealand. The Ministry for the Environment and Office of the Parliamentary Commissioner of the Government Act 1986. These positions are responsible for advising the minister on all areas of environmental legislation. A common theme of New Zealand's environmental legislation is sustainably managing natural and physical resources, fisheries, and forests. The Resource Management Act of 1991 is the main piece of environmental legislation that outlines the government's strategy to managing the environment, including air, water, soil, biodiversity, the coastal environment, noise, subdivision, and land use planning in general. So, ang mga taga New Zealand is responsible kay sila, no? Sa ilahang environmental legislations. Next, we have there the Russia. The Ministry of National Resources and Environment of the Russian Federation makes regulation regarding conservation of natural resources. So, ang Russia, ang ilahang Russian Federation naghimo og mga regulations para ma-conserve ang natural resources, including the subsoil, water bodies, forests located in designated conservation areas, fauna under habitat, in the field of hunting, hydrometeorology and related areas, environmental monitoring and pollution control, including radiation monitoring and control, and functions of public environmental policy making and implementation, and statutory regulations. So, we have next the Vietnam. Vietnam is currently working with the US, so nati collaborates sila sa US Environmental Protection Agency on dioxin remediation and technical assistance in order to lower methane emissions. In March 2002, the US and Vietnam signed the US-Vietnam Memorandum and of Understanding on Research on Human Health and the Environmental Effects of Agent or Orange Dioxin. So that's all about my report. Thank you for listening. So I have here a quote. Earth provides enough to satisfy everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. So this has been Christine Joy Kadayday, the reporter of Chapter 7. So I conclude that as a young generation, we should be responsible enough, be vigilant. We should we should be a law-abiding citizen. We should take care of our nature, our Mother Earth. We should teach our young children to do not um, throw their garbage anywhere. So we should teach them on how the of proper way disposal, the how important the environment, how precious the environment na nagpuyo tagare. So as a criminology student, we should be responsible enough. Dapat kita mo'y role model sa ato ang society. So that's all. Thank you and have a blessed day, everyone.